Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays. I hope everyone's doing well. We're a couple months in now to this whole coronavirus, COVID-19, people, period, being home more, watching television, watching movies, catching up on stuff, and being home more. So I've caught up on a lot of movies, and I've had a chance to kind of dig through my collection and find some stuff that's essentially really cool, and I think you will think it's cool also. So I'm going to show you some movies today by Michael Caine. Now he's a great actor. He's done everything from character work to Batman's butler to Spies, great comedies. He's played everything in the gamut of entertainment. He's done everything for probably close to 60 years now. He's getting up there, and he's a great actor. And I'm just going to show a small part of some really cool movies that he was in, and maybe you can check these out. So let's start off with Get Carter. This movie was it came out in 1971, and it's basically about, Michael Caine comes home for his brother's funeral, which he's kind of a gangster racketeer type of person. He's kind of on the outs of the whole organization. He's got kind of a flippant attitude towards them, like up yours, guys, whatever. So, anyways, this is what he really needs to kind of get his life back in order. Is he comes home to his estranged brother. He died, and he basically uncovers a kind of a conspiracy between some so-called friends and family members and whatnot in a small town. And essentially, it's him rescuing his niece from the makers of Blue movies. And it shows, it's a lot of surprises, a lot of action, great stunt work. It's a really good movie. It's very tight. It's very well paced. Very good movie. It was actually remade, I believe, in the year 2000 by Sylvester Stallone, which I have to admit I've never seen that version. I've always been kind of faithful to this, but I'll check that out sometime soon because I would like to see what it's like. But check this out, Get Carter. Next up, we got Michael Caine, and this is the Icpress file. This is where he basically stars as the character Harry Palmer, which is he's a kind of a Ministry of Defense, kind of a spy, kind of working, this is basically a Cold War spy movie. Harry Palmer is he's kind of a stubborn, guy working for this. So he's uncovering a piece of tape that's marked Icpress, an abandoned warehouse, and he becomes a target. So it's a great action, whodunit mystery thriller that I think, very well made. Music by John Barry, who did the James Bond work, and I believe let's see here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and look on the back here. Yeah, Harry Saltzman, who was part of the James Bond organization, producing and stuff of the early James Bond and so on, was part of this. So it's real quality work, and it's got Michael Caine in it. So there you go, the Icpress file. Probably not saying that right. Pardon me. Next up, we got Harry Palmer. Why do I keep wanting to call him Harry Brown? Harry Palmer returns in Funeral in Berlin. And this time he's a ex-army corporal who unwillingly serves as a spy for Her Majesty the Queen. And rather than serve a long stint behind bars, he's sent to Berlin basically to uncover some stuff going on. Another whodunit. I think there's a whole series throughout Michael Caine's career where he plays the character of Harry Palmer all the way up into the 2000s. He's made quite a few movies as him throughout the years, and they're not exactly all, direct sequels of each other. He's played them in different decades. So this was, part of the earlier stages. I think this was maybe the second, third one made back then. So highly recommend it. I really like the late 60s, early 70s kind of thriller movies back then because they were just well made. Everything was kind of dingy, there's London streets and everything wet and damp. And I don't know, it just has a lot of atmosphere in it and stuff. Plus, it's a thriller. So next up, we got $1 Billion Brain, and it's another in the Harry Palmer story. This one actually directed by Ken Russell, kind of controversial director who made the Tommy movie, the Who's Tommy, and he's always had kind of a flair for stuff he does, kind of controversial, but I think he adds a little bit of coolness to this. This also stars Carl Malden, classic 50s Hollywood, and Andre de Toth, the famous director, German director from Hollywood of the 40s and 50s, actually is a producer on this. And let's see here, we got Ken Russell and Harry Saltzman's back again for this one. So yeah, 1967's $1 Billion Brain. So it's pretty cool. I've kind of, even to this day, I've kind of even being familiar with this character in some of these movies. There's a whole bunch more out there. So as a fan, I'm still discovering more movies. And they're probably not all great. There's probably some really good ones. But, as a fan, there's still stuff for me to discover. So if you haven't really discovered these movies, and you're a fan of Michael Caine, go for it. I mean, they're really super neat. Next up, here's a movie probably everyone's heard of, The Italian Job. Of course, it was famously remade in 2001, I want to say, 2001. This is the original, music by Quincy Jones, directed by Peter Collinson. And this is the 50th anniversary edition. This is the UK version of it, Region B, but you can find this all region video out there, I'm sure. But it's a great movie to see the Mini Coopers. Plus, it's got that 60s British kind of mod, the cool, what was going on then. Everything's in there. It's really cool. It's got a lot of good stunt work. Highly recommend The Italian Job. Either one of them are pretty good. Even the remakes are pretty decent. So yeah, Italian Job. And finally, guys, this is a movie from 1985. It's the Holcoft Covenant. Really cool movie. This was John Frankenheimer, one of my favorite directors of Cold War thrillers. John Frankenheimer's made a lot of cool movies. Big fan of him. This was actually his last movie made, and this is basically Michael Caine plays Noel Covenant, or Holcroft, I'm sorry, Noel Holcroft, and he discovers that one day that he gets this letter, meet this guy, it's kind of mystery, like who is this? Why have you got me here? What do you need to give me? Gives him some papers and says, guess what? Your father was a Nazi. And he was like he didn't know who his father was, didn't know really much about him, never knew that. So that was mind blowing. But the other part, is, you're going to be given, let me make sure here, $40 billion that was kind of skimmed off the top back in the during the war. Him and two other Nazi officers kind of skimmed money off the top, and they were sending it to Sweden and had their own little account set up. So they had all this money build up. So if everything failed with the Nazi war and all that was going on during World War II, if it failed, which it was, he had a sense it was going to all fall apart and fail, that this money would be given to his son and the sons of the other two guys when they get to the age of 40, I believe it was, for them to basically start this takeover of the world with this money, a little startup money. So it's basically, of course he meets the other two guys, kids, kind of, can I trust him, can I not trust him? It's a really good thriller. It came out in 1985, and I'm kind of, I'm an 80s kid. I kind of remember it, but I'm glad this really cool Blu-ray from Kino is out, because it's a great picture, great sound. And for a movie made in the 80s, yes, it really has aged well. Of course, we know what's going to happen and everything, but really, it's a cool movie, a cool premise, and highly recommend this one. If you like movies in that vein. It has a let me find her, Victoria Tennant, which you may know her from some TV work and stuff from back in the 80s and 90s. Stars in this. So I highly recommend this and these other Michael Caine Blu-rays. So got these 6 Michael Caine movies. Highly recommend these guys. Go out and watch them and find them. Check out some of the other movies in the Harry Palmer series of spy. That the word I need escapes me right now, so I'm thinking spy thriller, whodunit. But check it out nonetheless. It's good. I've rambled long enough about Michael Caine. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe for more cool videos that I'm going to make. And comment what's your favorite Michael Caine movie. Did I skip over something that I should have shown that's really cool that you might not really think of? See, basically what I was doing with these videos is kind of some movies you didn't really think Michael Caine, like, oh wow, he was in that. That's kind of a, some of those type of movies. So comment on there on some movies I may have missed on the list, and just tune in for some more episodes and everything. And stay safe out there, guys. And I'm Mike, and I'll see you next time with more movies off the shelf.